If you hold any Bitcoin whatsoever, make sure to watch until the end of today's video because today is super critical. President Trump has announced that a deal between America and Iran is scheduled to be signed by EOD Sunday, and that immediately after his signature, we would see the Strait of Hormuz become open to all. That would plummet crude oil prices and send Bitcoin higher and produce the temporary bullish relief that we have all been wanting to see. So in this update, I will cover my short-term expectations with the bearish pennant now breaking to the upsides, a chart that has predicted the bull market top in Q4 that we have shown alongside many other technical indications, and all of that pointed to bull market closing, bear market beginning. Is the opposite true for June of 2026? I will go over SpaceX and how Friday closed, and end with Claude restricting its new model for all users as a result of a national security concern by America. With that, Crypto Kids, if you enjoyed today's update, please do me a favor and make sure to destroy the like button. I am in desperate need of a boost in morale. Crypto Kids, after 24 years, Turkey, my national team, had the chance of participating in the World Cup. But in our first match, we lost 2-0 to Australia. It was quite upsetting. We did so well, but we just lacked the striking capability. So if you do leave a like, then it will boost my morale significantly. And massive congratulations to all New York Knicks fans. They won the NBA. I think first time in 5 decades, something crazy like that. So congratulations. If you want to celebrate, then destroy the like button and consider subscribing for daily videos that we post here, where we go over markets, Bitcoin, traditional finance, macroeconomics, and sometimes we get blessed with the opportunity of interviewing industry giants. So I think you'll enjoy them. Subscribe, and I'll see you on those other videos. But first, let's cover the geopolitics and what was it that President Trump stated. President Trump expects a deal to be signed between Iran and America. According to the Pakistan Prime Minister, it is the closest we have ever been to a peace deal. And finalization is expected within 24 hours, which marks with the Washington time zone, I think another 17-ish more hours. Pakistan is preparing for electronic signing of the peace deal immediately after, followed by technical level discussions starting Monday onwards. See, this, from the sources that I've read, will not be the actual final deal. It will be a memorandum of understanding that will build the foundations for the real deal. I don't know, like, we've been through this for enough period of time to say, hey, like, until the actual thing happens, I will not expect neither a bullish or bearish outcome. It's just politics. Things change in a matter of 5 hours, like we experienced just last week. But if it does get signed, then crude oil would drop. Iran is saying that they've rejected the claim of that deal being signed, and that a possibility of signing is still on the table. But right now, the foreign ministry doesn't expect to send a negotiating team to visit Pakistan, neither Geneva, which was the city of the deal taking place, where JD Vance would have flown to. I don't think his plane has departed the US yet. That could be an interesting one to track on flight radar to see an extra layer of confirmation to if this is happening or not. Up in the air. It's up in the air with Bitcoin on the short term. I know we've broken above the symmetrical triangle, which in this context is a bearish continuation pattern. If you've watched my prior video and my last live stream on the Moon Show, you would have noticed that these patterns, they tend to fake you out to the upside, collect liquidity, and often continue lower. Because it's so ambiguous where we are geopolitically, and because geopolitics influences Bitcoin prices heavily in the short term, not so much in the long term, I'm refraining from entering into a new position. I think the best trade to take right now is no trade. If we get that deal, then 67.2 and 69.1, the all-time high from 2021, would be good places to reach. But for me to pivot into max long, I would have to see the 200 daily moving average being broken to the upside. In every bear market, if you break above the 200 daily moving average, it marks the end and you kickstart the bull. I'm okay with missing 10-15% of the rally to take advantage of the next 150% of the rally, but at least I see a confirmation and reduce my risk. The long term looks way more lucrative as usual. We had a bearish divergence from actually since 2024 March, when we created that high in March of 2024. From that point onwards, up until the very end of the bull market, we had a bearish divergence. And eventually, with the break of the 50 simple, with Q4 post-halving year topping mentality of the 4-year cyclicality, that was the end. You had a double top amongst an even larger double top, and boom, you started capitulating. So that bearish divergence, we mentioned it on Twitter, on our YouTube videos, that it's not the healthiest of signs, and it adds to the perspective of how we're concluding this bull run and entering into the bear. We're seeing the opposite. A bullish divergence is forming, with price retesting the 200-week moving average. Historically, the 200W has created the bottom for 2020 COVID crash, for 2019 bear markets, and for 2015 bear markets. So even though I still see us going lower into Q4, as a spot buyer and a leverage observer, ATM, I think spot buying is the way to go. That's what I'm doing, at least. And actually, I see that 64K is a very fair price for me to enter into Bitcoin spot holdings. I think that the low, to reemphasize, will likely come in Q4, but I don't want to make the mistake of not being in the market and buying cheap to just try and time the exact bottom, and that's always very unlikely to do. You can get the range of the time correct, and you can identify points of heavy discount, and that's exactly where we are. The Rational Root, an OG analyst, has posted a chart which shows the bottom formation areas. We've entered a period known as the low consolidation. Last time we were there was at 25K Bitcoin. Shortly after, yes, we dropped to 15. Okay, I get it. But if you were buying throughout that entire low consolidation place, then you would have gotten a good DCA. The keyword is DCA. If you'd like to DCA, meaning buy Bitcoin either weekly or daily or monthly until October, November, or a date of your choice, then you can actually check out the links in the description to our partners below, which give you incredible campaigns. We negotiated hard to get you the best campaign that can possibly be reached with Weeks, BTCC, Levex, and Bybit. You can split your buys. You can decide to buy a little bit of Bitcoin today, a little bit of Bitcoin next week, and do that consecutively until Q4 of midterm. And hopefully, if Bitcoin does what it did before, then we should start to see an increase into 2027 and beyond, and those DCAs can become nominally profitable. If you want to check out our partner exchanges, use the links in the description to get the best campaigns available for the crypto kids. With BTCC specifically, you can reach a 30,000 sign-up bonus plus a 10% deposit bonus and a reduction of 33% in trading fees. You need an email address and password. That is it, but you need to use the second link in the description below. Thank you to all of our partners which make these videos happen, and thank you to you behind the screen for watching and showing your love and appreciation. That is, guys and girls, my Bitcoin thesis. All right? That's the Bitcoin thesis. SpaceX. So many individuals, so many retailers are queuing up to buy into the SpaceX IPO. They're still buying into the actual stock post-IPO as represented by the ETFs. Yeah, I'm not a buyer. I'm a buyer of Bitcoin now. I think Bitcoin is at a much better valuation and much less hype compared to SPCX. A year down the line, I will be a buyer. We know from major companies hitting the NASDAQ historically that on the first year in. Facebook, for instance, was 50% lower. Uber was 68% lower, Lyft was down 79, and Robinhood reached a 90% ultimate low before reversing course upwards. There's so many employees who received significant quantities of stock options from 2 decades ago that have now become millionaires. 4,400 current and former employees have been expected to become millionaires with the launch of SpaceX. And they will take profits. They will take profits. A crazy example is an engineer, a long tenured welder from the early days, accumulated 6,500 shares, reaching over $1 million on Friday's market open. So these individuals are making so much already, they are set to take profits. Then the retail that bought in at 130, they're still up like 20%. They will take profits also. And for a year and a half, ultimately I see a decline. But after a year and a half, when SpaceX gets included in the Nasdaq, in the Russell 1000, in the S&P 500, in the Dow Jones, then these funds and wealth managers and the indexes will automatically allocate lots of capital for just being a part of that index, and then we can restart that bullish rally. I am a believer that the stock market is ending its bull market, and we're going to go into a bear. So that is a contributor to my bearishness. However, I am very happy to buy SpaceX next year when probably nobody will be interested, and then hodl for 10 years because I see SpaceX going to tens of trillions of dollars. I see Bitcoin going to tens of trillions of dollars. The money gets devalued on a daily basis, and assets and companies that are doing good and help people, I think will appreciate dramatically. It's funny to see that the pre-IPO futures, the perp of SPCX, was the third most popular product on Hyperliquid, and it represented 13% of the volume on Friday for Binance, and it was the second most traded futures pair. It's ridiculous. Like, we've come to a point in the crypto bear market where stocks have become more popular than altcoins. It's insane. It was even more popular than Ethereum, right? And those only happen in bear markets, a good buying signal. And I've actually gone in and accumulated some BNB after seeing how impressive the fact that their B stocks have become. You can take a stock like Tesla, convert it into a tokenized version where there's one-to-one backing by third party, but this token you can send, you can self-custody, receive the same financial benefits like getting dividends as if you were holding the real stock. It's just not owned under your name, but it's revolutionary. You're unlocking capital from every single country in the world to go and enter into the American markets. Hence the push that we're getting from tokenization and the Clarity Act. Like, this is big. And the layers that enable tokenization, I think, will be winners. And I think BNB is doing a great job. So quite bullish. And it's one of the coins that I like to accumulate during this bear. I'm still staying away from DeFi. Remember how Zcash got hacked from Anthropic's new model at the end of May? And then last week, when we got news of Mythos and Fable, I was like, no, I'm out of any DeFi. There are concerns from Anthropic that people could have created bioweapons with their new model. So they had to launch a less powerful model to the public, which got banned for everyone because the US said it was a national security risk. Guys, AI has become so dangerous already. I'm just not trusting DeFi protocols at the moment. I'm out of them. I'm looking to re-enter in, but I just want to hedge myself against these crazy developments in the AI ecosphere. Decentralized AIs like Tau is benefiting from that bearish narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Take care. If Bitcoin does see that appreciation, targets for positive targets, it would be 67.2 and 69.1. I'll come back and make another episode tonight. If not, then I'll see you tomorrow, where we need to cover that Michael Saylor topic. I couldn't get around to covering it. We need a video specifically. Keep the notification bell on. It will arrive eventually on the channel, and when it does, it will be a must watch. Thank you, and as always, bye-bye.